Hey there, and thank you for watching today. I have a really short beat to do a walkthrough on today. It's basically just me using Ableton's sampler to sample a loop I found, and then chopping it up in a new way and adding drums and 808 to it. So let me walk you through that quick, and the full beat's at the end. Alright, so this is what the original sample sounds like. I usually just kind of in bulk pick out little bars that I like and then save them to use later in a project. And this is one that I liked. I'm glad I came back to it. What really drew me to that one was the fact that there is voice going on, there's some little strings in the background, and then there's keys. So I thought that sampling just little bits of that would sound really cool with those three instruments at least being present. Let's take a look at the actual sampling that's going on. So I'm going to click on the track that has that, and then right over here, oops, let me move my person. But down here I have the Ableton plugin called Simpler, which is what I use to kind of chop this up into bits and then resample using the MIDI keyboard. So the settings I have right now are to slice by beat in a division of fourths here. So that just means every quarter note is where it will be mapped to a different key on your keyboard. And then I also have a very small fade in here and a longer fade out. And the fade in is really good because it gets rid of any like clicking noises from going from like silence to audio. So having some sort of fade in that sounds good to you is always nice. And yeah, I'll show you what that sounds like soloed. And I'm really happy with the pattern I found there. So I didn't separate the drum out of this at all. And I kind of like that. Like with how small the sample chops are here, you still hear a little bit of the drum, a little bit of the snare, but it's not conflicting with the beat at all. And then I'm glad that I found a slightly different variation in how I was sampling it here. From like each bar here so it's not just the same thing repeated over and over. And I kind of like how it just focuses on where the voice is. That's what I kind of went through. It's like, okay, where's the most interesting parts of what the voice is doing in the sample, and how can I piece it together to make an idea that sounds whole in itself. Great. So I'll just briefly explain what I did to hash out this little idea from there. I sent a lot of that track with the sample on it into reverb with a little bit of delay, so that makes it kind of gel better with the other elements going on. I added kind of a cheesy 808 line underneath it, and then some drums with like a faster hi-hat pattern. I'd probably change those later if I actually developed these, but they at least gave me the context of what that sample would sound like in a real song probably. And then at the very beginning, I have the original sample, without any of my editing, just as a little intro before the real beat kicks in. And that's all I did for this. It can be developed later, but this was just a little experiment to see what I could do with the 4 bars of that sample that I picked originally. So here's the full beat. that's about it. Thank you for watching. Super simple and short, but it was kind of fun to practice that. Yeah, have a good one.